Aloha! Welcome to Omens, another episode of Omens. The world's gone crazy, everything's upside down, backwards, messed up, inverted, and the reverse of everything that it should be. The world's falling apart at the seams. At least, that's how I see it. So, I like to share my path with you, the things that I discover, the things that I research, the things that I pick up on as I move forward on this walk of mine. And, take what resonates. Or don't. It's up to you. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to check out some of the headlines today. The viewer submissions, I guess, are not working on my website right now. So I'm working on getting that fixed up for all of you guys so you can send me your viewer submissions. So let me jump in the chat real quick just to make sure the audio's good. I see a lot of people. Stay tuned for an extra special spooky credit scene at the end of today's presentation as well. Let's see, we got a bunch of people in the chat. Eric, Angie S, Louis Martinez, Linda, Chloe. I like that name. I like Chloe. That's a good name. Eric Ibu Elliott, Eric also, and Chosen Lore, Nanette, who insists they were first even before me in the chat. Anyways, good to see you guys. Audio's good? Okay, cool. Let's jump on into today's presentation. Let's see. Let's start with this one. It's official. The Earth now has two moons. Two moons floating around our world. So you guys know the academic model, right? That the light that you see up there in the heavens at nighttime, the night light, that's a big dusty rock. And remember the dust part, because that's going to come into play later when we check out this new moon rover that they're working on for nothing, like for no reason. They're not going there. But anyway, so it says the Earth now has two moons. It's official. Yeah, who made that official? Right? The office people. The officials, right? The people that work in the offices. The Earth has two moons now. No, it doesn't. Okay? Like there's luminaries up there in the heavens. There's the sun, there's the moon, and there's also a lesser known third entity, I'll say, up there in the heavens. But this is an omen. If we're getting another moon, that's a huge, big, fat omen. Now, my question is, let's just suppose this is true, that there's this asteroid flying around and got sucked into the Earth's gravitational pull. Why isn't that being discussed as some sort of doomsday meteor, like these other ones, Apophis and, countless other ones? This one's just a friendly one, I guess. It's just a friendly meteor. Just getting sucked into our orbit, and then in a couple weeks it'll just get flung right back out there into space somehow. Big omens, okay? Watch the heavens, watch the signs in the sky, because when you see the sky changing all of the time quickly, and there's these new normals all over the place, that means you're living in changing times, interesting times, strange times. And those are the times that lead up to and just before an apocalyptic event throughout history. It's one of the major omens that things change quickly and drastically before the world, suddenly goes through an actual change. Next up, outages. I did a special little presentation for everybody last night. Actually, I stayed up super late because there was this PlayStation outage across the world. Nobody could play PlayStation. Gamers everywhere were losing their minds, completely upset, and had no idea what to do with their time, except for to jump on YouTube and watch people talk about it. So all these outages are happening. This is a huge omen for me personally. Xbox just had a huge outage. Their network went down. Across the world, PlayStation was out. Nobody could use PlayStation. We also had Verizon had a huge outage, right? And Bank of America. These are just a few of major outages that are happening across the world. Bank of America had an outage, and when people checked their account balances, it said zero. They just took people. Now, I'm not saying that their money was gone or whatever, but that's what it showed them. This is how easy it is for everyone's money to just be disappeared, right? Because your money is just numbers punched into a computer. Most people many people these days don't carry a lot of cash around. And even if you did, that cash is not backed by gold any longer. You can't just go turn it in at the local bank and exchange it for something that actually is valuable. It's backed by your belief that it is valuable and your acceptance of such, right? Anyways, all of these outages are going to lead to a major outage. Okay, these are just little previews of what is to come during the plasma apocalypse. All electronics will stop working. You've heard of the Carrington event, right? We will have large versions of the Carrington event before the actual big worldwide electromagnetic pulse and midpoint of a polarity shift where none of your electronics will work. And when they do come back on, they will be possessed. And I'll be talking about that in my Every Apocalypse series that I just started when we talk about the robot rebellion, which also reminds me this weekend on Sunday, we're probably going to break down the original Terminator movie. And we're going to talk about robot rebellions. Next up, the Earth is to briefly gain a second moon. Scientists say this is sort of repetitious, but they keep showing this moon, right? That's because this other moon, this asteroid that's sucked into the Earth's gravitational pull, you can't see it. It doesn't exist. I haven't seen it. And they even say this all over the internet. You can't see it, but it's there. I promise. This is how modern mainstream academics and NASA and cosmology and stuff works. They tell you stuff's out there. They want you to believe it and take their word for it. But they won't believe in ancient history in the form of comparative mythology and the history that our forefathers and the world across once believed in adamantly, but now it's just seen as fiction or science fiction or fantasy and things of that nature. Well, guess what? One day, fantasy is going to become reality. Right now, fantasy is just a reminder. But anyways, this is the good old moon. This is a luminary. It's a light in the heavens. It's a projection. It's a hologram. There is an actual physical portion that is projecting this, but this is not it. Okay, and the physical portion is a part of the firmament, which is why the moon looks like ice. That right there, to me at least, looks like ice. And I believe that is what it's made out of. There's all these little holes in the moon. Let's just check it out real quick, right? Look at this one. See right down here? That bad boy, right? You see how it looks like there's just like all this stuff all the way around it. And have you ever noticed there's little lights on the moon? See these little dots? There's lights all over it, okay? That's because it's a gigantic light up there in the sky. It's a luminary. And it's going to split in half one day too. So keep your eyes on the skies, all the weird stuff that's happening up there in the cosmos. Long extinct woolly mammoth will be brought back within just 4 years, entrepreneur claims. So they're trying to bring back the woolly mammoth because the permafrost up there, which is, let me remind you, frozen dead bodies all the way around the world. You think there might have been an apocalyptic cycle sometime in the past? Right? When you have a ring of frozen dead bodies up there in the north. Yes, those are all melting. It's getting warmer. They're releasing gases and other things, but they're exposing a lot of these woolly mammoth bodies. So they're going to try to play Jurassic Park, which we just broke down last week and decoded. And they're going to try to bring this guy back to life. That won't work. Let me tell you why. Because the reason they looked like that was because of the conditions that the world was in during those times. Which gave rise to things like gigantism. And the reason they're woolly is not because they lived in a frozen tundra and they needed to stay warm. It's actually because it was warm, right? And they grew fur and stuff like that, just like many creatures in the jungles today do. But anyways, I'm glad that they're not showing this walking around in the ice as they typically do. But yeah, they're going to try to bring this back. Now, whenever you hear talks of bringing back dinosaurs, woolly mammoths, ancient creatures or whatnot, or ancient creatures reemerging from the depths of the ocean and strange monsters washing ashore and stuff. This is a huge omen that otherworldly monsters, which do exist, and this whole month we're going to be talking about spooky concepts, Halloween themes, monsters, ghosts, and things like that. Keep an eye out. My brother's going to be on my show this weekend, I believe, actually on Saturday. And he was a paranormal investigator, a professional. So we're going to talk about those things too. Anyways, when you hear about monsters coming back, being brought back, or rising back up to the surface, these are all omens. You get a little glimpse of what is to come. There is an influx of what people will probably call monsters. Okay, when they don't know what they are and they scare them, they will call them monsters. It's a combination of many things. Gigantism in our world, giving rise to gigantic insects and people as they grow into the new conditions. People will become gigantic once more. And then otherworldly creatures that will come up from the abyss, from the bottomless pit, from inside of the hollow recesses of our world. They will also drop down, float down out of the skies, out of the heavens, and the Nephilim will return. Next up, the moon's true origin. Speaking of the moon, what's the true origin of the moon? If you ask academics, they say, I don't know. It might be with this, it could be that, it might be this. They have no idea. They can tell you about the outer reaches of the solar system and the dawn of time and stuff, but they can't really agree on how the moon was created and how something that big in their theory and their model can stay in perfect orbit, the same side facing the Earth all of the time. The true origin of the moon, capture theory. That's the theory that the Earth captured some other heavenly body, this giant rock, and sucked it in from the Earth's tractor beam called gravity, and then just kept it at a distance at a perfect Goldilocks zone, which is what everything out there happens to be. It challenges a decades-old belief, right? So, where did the moon come from? Well, if you look at all of their different theories that they have, this is one of them, right? Some other weird rogue spherical globuloid out there in space, this globular space rock smashed into the Earth. Bam! And then a piece of the Earth came off and it was all molten, and then it formed the moon and it was circling around, and it didn't make a ring from all the other debris like the other planets. It just made a moon. It's very picky. This is a picky explosion in space. Now, check this out. If you ask about, look how they're showing you the moon was made. All right. Now, if you look up how the dinosaurs died, they'll show you a big rock. Bam, smashing it. And then if you look it up, they say, look, you can still see the crater from the impact. Where's the moon crater? Come on, stop. I'm not even gonna... Come on, really? Where's the moon crater? Where's the big chunk of Earth? Oh, no, back then, millions of years ago, you have to imagine, right? They just, whatever. Comets. Comets are, this is the time of comets. This is no bueno for those of you who do not look forward to the apocalypse coming. I do. I love seeing these things. I love knowing that there's more and more of them. I love that there's devil comets. I love that there's cryogenic Siamese ice volcano comets. Not that I believe that those actually exist. I have explained my theory on what comets are many, many times. These are chromatic aberrations, in my opinion. From my perspective, these are optical phenomena. These are lights in the sky, just like many other things. They will have you believe that this is a slushy, a space slushy, way out there, and the closer it gets to the sun, it's all this, it should be, all of these comets should be disintegrated by now. Like, according to the academic model, all of these comets should be gone. Okay, over 1 billion years or millions of trillions or however many long, right? I mean, this is all just falling apart. That's what the tail is, right? It should just be gone. Halley's Comet should not even exist. You know how long these tails usually are? Like, I don't know, a billion miles long. I can't remember how. It's ridiculous. Okay, so if you take all this debris and squish it all back together, you know how big a comet should be after it's made that tail 1 million times, right? Comet should be the size of, like, I don't know, Jupiter or something. They shouldn't be small outgassing space snowballs or whatever. This is not a snowball. Okay, this is not a rock. This is nothing but light that is going through what's called chromatic aberration. It's an optical effect. Now, something really weird, especially if you listen to their version. Let me just make sure you guys are still good. Okay, everybody's still good? All right, good. Where was I? Oh, yeah, that thing. Oh, wait, where was I here? Oh, the comet. Now, check this out. This comet has, or is developing... Now here it is. Hold on, let's check it out in the sky, right? Isn't that weird? Doesn't that look wrong? It's like facing the wrong direction. It's like the tail is the front part as it moves across the sky. Do you notice that this luminary, which is what this is, okay? If it's a light and it's in the sky, it's a luminary. This luminary right here, which is out of focus, is moving with all the stars at the exact same pace and everything, right? You would think there would, nah. Anyways, something weird about this one is it has what is known as the anti-tail. Developing an anti-tail. It says right here, a blue gas tail and what appears to be the beginnings of an anti-tail. The anti-tail. Let's check out this anti-tail. Here it is right here. Now, here's the dot, the main part. Here's the trail, which means it's going that direction, allegedly, right? What is that? This anti-tail deal? That right there is a tail in the front. But how does that work? That's not supposed to exist. Like, I know how this works. Okay, you go in one direction and the trail goes behind you. The trail doesn't go in front of you ever. Okay, it doesn't do that. It's not supposed to do that unless it's an optical phenomenon, in which case it can actually do that. Yeah, so keep an eye out. We live during the age of comets, man. And comets were always seen in ancient history as huge, unmistakable omens. Omens of death. Omens of major change on Earth. Omens of the change of hierarchies and leaders and the deaths of leaders and whatnot, right? And these people are seeing, we didn't have all these comets when I was a kid. I'm telling you, I saw like one. I heard of two. Okay? There's like a comet every week now. Weird comets too, like I said. Like split comets, comets with tails in the front. Mercury was a comet, right? At the beginning of the year, I believe. The whole planet turned into a comet. Keep your eyes to the skies. Any anomaly, any strange thing happening with the moon, with the sun, the focal point and the projection, with the stars, with the comets, with these other things. Check these out. Draconid. Like naming it after Dracula and stuff, right? Like, why? If this is all supposed to be scientific, why do they name all of this stuff after ancient myths and legends and fictitious things? Doesn't that sound counterintuitive to anyone else? You know what I mean? Shouldn't it sound more scientific or whatever? Draconid meteor shower offers a chance to view hundreds of shooting stars per hour. So these are meteors. These are rocks. If you look it up, because I don't understand this whole meteor shower thing, right? I mean, I understand it. I just don't understand their version of it. Their version of it is that, oh, this is the time of year whenever we fly through a debris field of space rocks. Nobody panics. Nobody's afraid. Nobody's scared. You don't have insurance on these things hitting your house or anything. It's not a big deal. There's not like thousands and thousands of like sonic booms that on this particular night from all these space rocks, you know, traveling at like thousands of miles an hour or whatever, right? So if you look it up, why there are so many, it says that we go through this like sort of dust cloud that has all these rocks. Okay. Where are all of the rocks? Where are all these rocks? Where's the explosions? Where, you know, these meteors, and they're fireballs, really. They're plasmas that are flying through the earth. I'm not saying rocks cannot exist or dust or whatever up there in the midpoint, the space between the surface and the dome, where there is far less pressure. I'm not saying that can't exist. What I am saying is that I don't hear thousands of sonic booms from all these crazy rocks smashing into the earth. And then if you look it up, it says, well, most of them are too small. They burn up in the atmosphere. So I look up how small they are. Well, it's like dust sized. And then I'm like, well, that can't happen. I'm arguing with AI when I do my research. I'm like, that can't happen. You can't make dust go that fast and then it just hits the atmosphere and catches on fire. And AI says you're correct. It actually can't do that. It has to be bigger. I'm like, okay, well, how big? And it says, well, a grain of sand. I'm like, you can't take a grain of sand and make it go super fast and then it catches on fire or whatever. That doesn't work either. And it says, you're right, actually, you can't. And most of these meteoroids that actually catch on fire or catch the atmosphere around it on fire, allegedly, which was really just ionizing it. It's not fire. I don't know why they do that. Anyways, My point is, I got it all the way up to about a marble size. And then it's like, yeah, marble size, definitely. You can have meteors and marble size, but they disintegrate too. They all disappear, right? Just like that second moon. It's up there. You can't see it though. It's not really there. Meteors are not really there, in my opinion, okay? People they're not afraid of meteors. All of the meteors go down from the sky. They come down from the sky, which means we're not on a spinning, wobbling, tilting globuloid flying through unknown, uncharted nothingness on an inevitable crash course with something, right? Yeah, all of them come down. If there's all around us going at different angles and degrees, you should see meteors come straight up and streak across or whatever, right? Anyways, these are different. Okay, and this is also a huge omen when you're seeing fireballs. Okay, that means you're on your way to Oz, the Wicked Witch. You know, I'm speaking symbolically, but you're on your way. We are on our way to Oz. Oz is getting closer and closer to the center of the world, which is the North Pole, which is the camp of the saints, which is where Hyperborea is, and the Garden of Eden is, and other phantom islands and whatnot. And we're going to talk about, you'll see the governments are creeping and inching their way closer and closer. JWST spots unusual jets coming from a highly active Centaur 29P. See why they call this a Centaur? Let's check this out. This is an asteroid. Is this what it is? This is an artist's impression of the outgassing. So this is like asteroids passing gas, basically. A highly active icy Centaur that undergoes not well understood periodic outbursts. Why are they naming this Centaur? Man, I don't know how big to make this. So basically, this is a space rock, allegedly, that is releasing gases. I've never seen a rock just release gases like that. Never. You know what I mean? Why do space rocks do this? Like, you know what I mean? I've never seen an actual rock just, psst, you know, hey, let me tell you something, psst, and it's like whispering to me or whatever. Definitely not releasing a bunch of light like this, except for the Earth. The Earth as a whole does release gases. It does have outgassing, and the next time this happens, those gases will rush through our Earth, ionizing, and create pillars and beams of light, which is the omen that you see before you. But yeah, these peanut-shaped rocks out there, snowball, slushy, icy rocks. Somehow water came from somewhere, I don't know. And it's just releasing all this gas or whatever. Doesn't that also mean that like their trajectories would just be all over the place and they wouldn't be able to calculate any trajectory of any comet or any asteroid at all due to chaos theory, right? Because any slight little, according to them, air spritzes can get you around in space. Okay, I'm serious. Unfortunately, I'm serious. In a vacuum, in the vacuum of space, all you need to slam on the brakes is a little pss, 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 and that'll do the trick, according to the learned people in your government institutions like NASA. But if this thing has outgassing, every little time it does that, according to them, it should completely change the trajectory, like you're letting go of a balloon. And it just, you don't know where that balloon's going. You know what I mean? No one should be able to calculate where these are. You know what you can calculate? Things that are constant and under a dome and in a closed system. You can calculate those a lot better. Next up, the Army is testing robot dogs armed with artificial intelligence enabled rifles. No problem. I don't see the problem with this. This is cool. This is fine. Robot dogs with machine gun heads and AI. How could that go wrong? How could that possibly go wrong? I don't know. I'm so excited. I can't wait. All of these machines are going to turn on every single person one day. Well, there's always exceptions and anomalies. Thankfully, I am an exception and an anomaly. And many of you are too. But yeah, all your little robots, all these wacko, crazy, psychotic inventions you people out there are making, and your governments are making this. This is like something out of what's that? Austin Powers. You know how Dr. Evil puts like the sharks with freaking lasers on their heads or whatever. This is real. This is a robot dog with a machine gun head and AI integrated into it. What happens whenever you lose control of this bad boy? I'm telling you, science fiction is prophetic in nature. This is not the best. Not the best at all. I mean, I don't even really have to. You already know. So let's move on. All right. Just freaking dogs with gun heads. Service robotics. Serve Robotics and Wing will partner for drone delivery pilots in Dallas. So yeah, here's the kinder friendlier version of the machine gun head dog robot, right? So they got all these ones delivering stuff. They're putting robots everywhere, all over the place, right? They're doing it all for you. Okay. Well, how are you going to make money? How are you going to earn anything? How are you going to have a livelihood? Pretty soon, everyone's going to turn into what I call wall Martians, and you're going to look exactly like all of the humans looked on WALL-E. If you remember what happened in WALL-E. And this is WALL-E. Meet WALL-E. Hi, WALL-E. Hello. And yeah, he's going to have to find a new purpose when all the humans are gone. I can't wait to break down Terminator. I really can't wait. I just watched the original with my son last night. Shout out to Jace. High five, Jace. I love you, my boy. We're going to watch part 2, Judgment Day, tonight. All right. So yeah, they got delivery robots all over the place. Delivering. They will also have GPS. They will also have cameras. They will also be spying on you. I promise. I also predict, not that I'm big into predictions or anything, but it just makes sense. It's reasonable to assume that there's going to be a developing strong hatred, a big movement, a hate movement against machines, against robots. It's already starting. I already know. So you already know too. It's already starting. But pretty soon people are going to go around whacking these things, knocking them over, and then they're going to have to give them rights. You already know where that's going to lead. Dun, dun, da, dun. All right, that's all I got to say about that. The strongest of its kind flare, a solar flare, a flare from the sun, may cause blackouts. Massive solar storm on Earth. See, isn't this weird? How sometimes they call it a solar storm, but if I search, other times they call it a geomagnetic storm. I like this term a lot better. I'm just saying. I'm partial to geo, which is the Earth's, and magnetism, storm. The Earth causes these things, not the sun. The sun is a focal point. It's a light, okay? And I'm not one that believes that the sun is what they portray it as, 360 degrees and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure the same side of the sun faces us, just like the same side of the moon faces us. And on the other side of the sun, it's dark. That's my theory. But anyways, geomagnetic storms and blackouts. These are happening already. They're only going to increase. All of these things that you're seeing the tip of the iceberg, which is going to lead to, your governments doing things for your protection and coming in and trying to offer these solutions and products and God knows what else, right? Geomagnetic storms. You're going to see way more of those. This should not be on the news. It should not be a part of your local weather forecast. Is where can you see the northern lights tonight in the southern part of the world? That shouldn't be normal. If you want to see the northern lights, it's normal that you would go to Svalbard or Greenland or northern parts of Canada or something. Not Arizona, not Spain. You know what I mean? All right, next up. The climate change is causing algal blooms in Lake Superior. I think last time we covered another one of the Great Lakes, right? So now Lake Superior is turning green. It's no surprise. Most of the world's ocean is green. This is a big, huge red flag for all of you people who are looking for omens of the upcoming and inevitable apocalypse. Green waters everywhere, from cyanobacteria and other types, that will turn and have the capability to turn red into red tide. Even if they don't, it doesn't matter. It matters not, as Al-Anon would say. This is enough. When more than 50% of the world's ocean is green or full of algae and bacteria and it's dirty and disgusting, it's got to go first and foremost, which is going to happen. Okay, the next event removes the oceans. And it also can turn them into red tide, which would be like blood. You know, a third of the ocean's turning into blood or whatever. This releases toxins into the air, which causes the next domino to fall, which is plague, which is respiratory diseases all over the place, which is new laws being passed and new norms and trends and how people treat each other, and it affects people's lives, and people will get sick, obviously, and die. They'll catch pneumonia. They'll catch other respiratory diseases. And this can also affect your skin. This can cause boils and weird rashes and stuff on your skin. This is all in the book of Revelation in the Bible. Next up, we got this guy out in the middle of the frozen Arctic nowhere, guarding it. Why? Why? There's a delta on this thing right behind me. I just noticed that. You see that? The triangle is also called a delta, all right? And it's the ancient symbol for a doorway, an opening, a pathway, a gate, you could say, right? There's one up above in the heavens when it does open up. That's the gate of the heavens, or heaven's gate, just like the cult from a long time ago. All right, there's some truth to that too. I'm not endorsing it or anything, but I'm saying there's the heavens gate, which is the triangle facing upwards. And then there's the earthly gate, which is Mount Meru, which is the entrance into the westernmost parts of our world, or the inner earth, or the hollow earth, etc. And that's a downward facing triangle, right? The female, earth, down, the male, the heavens, up above, or whatever. And then you put those two together, and guess what that gives you? Yeah. Guess what? This guy's guarding something important. He's not just guarding snow. Okay? This is not live from the flying ice volcano comet or anything. He's guarding paradise. Okay? They're trying to get back into paradise, which I believe is a phantom island located at the North Pole, which used to be featured on many medieval maps and ancient maps across time. If you look it up and research it, or check out my channel, I feature those all the time. He's guarding the North Pole. So let's check it out. Russia and China's cooperation in the Arctic is a rising nuclear threat. There will be conflict. This conflict is always over land. It's a land grab. Everyone wants land. What is the most valuable land on Earth? It is the land that is life-giving and lengthens lifespans, which is the fountain of youth, which I believe the main one, the biggest one, is located at Rupus Nigra, Mount Olympus, Mount Sinai, Mount Meru, etc., and so on and so forth. A plasma volcano, an inner earth entrance that has been off limits and lost. And they have sent out expeditions and explorers across time. All of these world powers, nobility, right? They sent them out, not for spices, not for salt and pepper. Stop. You know this already, okay? You know. Intuitively, deep down, you know Columbus, Magellan, all these people were not looking for cinnamon. You know this, okay? They're looking for the fountain of youth. They're looking for home, or my home, at least. You know, I'll claim that. They're looking for the Garden of Eden. They're looking for Hyperborea. And if you'd like to know more about where that is and how to find it and what it's like, please check out my newest book, Return to Hyperborea. It is of the series called Ancient Oblivion, and it's available on Amazon, or you can order through my website now. All right, let's see. Let's go next up. Oh, all the countries. My whole point is everyone's going to get closer and closer. They're all going to edge closer and closer to the Arctic Circle and try to get as close as they can, because they want to be near to it when the time comes when they're able to get into it. And they will fight each other to get into it. Just like how you see Black Friday, how all the people fight each other getting into frickin' Kmart or Walmart or whatever mart they happen to be at. Yeah, same thing. It's no different. People are no different on a large scale than they are on the small scale. All right, they're going to fight each other. They're going to have conflict. They're going to surround the city of the saints, the camp of the saints, which is a circular nation, island nation, split into 4 quadrants with 4 rivers. And at that time, they will all be melted. I'm telling you. Like, okay, they will be melted by heavenly fire from above. All right, but that's a discussion for another time. This is the new lunar rover. Does that look like a golf cart or something, right? They're gonna put that on the moon, which if they go to the luminary, they're gonna pass right through it. They're not really going to the moon. They might be trying to go to the firmament, possibly, but listen, on the moon, if you look this up, this is true. If the surface of the moon, like those old photos, the only ones in existence, basically, of like anyone actually on the moon from like 100 years ago. I'm embellishing, but still, it's appropriate, even though it's a hyperbole. They have like these footprints, right? And there's dust. There's just fine dust all over the moon, allegedly. Okay, it's a dusty world. And can you imagine this thing? Keep in mind, like down here, this might drive nice because it's more dense down here on the surface, or there's more gravity, people would say. So it's really holding down well, and it can drive with these types of tires, okay? But you get up there, allegedly, let's go according to their model. Yeah, I'm trying to make it bigger. Anyways, according to their model, you get up there, and there's less gravity, and there's all this dust. You know how much dust there is? 1 to 5 meters of dust on the surface where people will land and walk around and stuff. You're going to drive that with these slick tires on dust without anything really holding it down to the surface? Dude, you're just going to spin out. Even if that was all real, this is a stupid design, okay? I don't know. This looks like it's for playing golf or something on the moon, which, they also allegedly did. Next up, college students. Oh, this is mind-blowing. Are you ready? Are you ready? Hold on. Let me take a sip. This scares me more than the actual apocalypse scares me. This worries me more than the plasma apocalypse, phantazoids, monsters, plagues, all that stuff. Check this out, okay? College students used Meta's, Facebook's, smart glasses to dox people in real time. Dox means to give out people's personal information like their addresses and phone numbers and stuff, okay? For all of us in the older generation. College students use these smart glasses. So check this out. Here they are. These are smart glasses, right? You put these on. It's got a little camera right there, dink, on the side. And it looks at the world in front of you. This is straight out of science fiction, okay, which is prophetic, which is science fact. It just hasn't come to pass, or it's not made public yet. This thing records everything it sees, and it scans everything that it sees, and it cross-references everything that it sees, including your face. Check this out.
We built glasses that let you identify anybody on the street. The information our tool collects from just a photo of your face is staggering. To use it, you just put the glasses on, then as you walk by people, the glasses will detect when somebody's face is in frame. This photo is used.
Okay, hold on. So, I don't know if the audio is good or if you guys can hear or whatever, okay? Hopefully you can. Anyways, so you put these on, and this guy right here, they're going to show you many examples. It will record his face. It will instantly cross-reference all the pictures of this particular individual on the internet, bring up all of his information, and then it'll post it where only you can see it in your glasses.
To analyze them, and after a few seconds, their personal information pops up on your phone.
Right? Oh, this is me volunteering.
June Lee, right?
Yeah. Oh,
You're
so these are some
you're
examples.
from Bergen County Academies?
yeah.
Your Korean name is Ju-eun?
And they're all laughing. They think it's hilarious.
Cambridge Community Foundation.
Watch this. Check this out. This guy's in the subway.
No? Wait, are you Betsy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think I met you through like the Cambridge Community Foundation, right?
Yeah. It's great to meet you. I'm Kane.
So he just lied to this lady. So he's using the glasses. He walked up to this old lady and he's like, "Oh, your name is such and such. Yeah, I met you at the Cambridge deal, you know, a while back." He doesn't know this lady at all. And you could tell she's putting on one of those fake smile things like, "I have no idea what this guy's talking about, but okay, I'll play along," right? And she just instantly befriends him when he's lying. He doesn't know her whatsoever. Check this out. There's another example.
With the Cambridge Community Foundation, right? Yeah.
Watch
It's great
these
to meet you.
examples.
I'm Kane.
Oh wait. Oh, so do you happen to be the person working on like minority stuff for like Muslims in India at all or something?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you Kashif?
Yes.
Oh, I've read your work before. That's super cool.
Look at that.
I'm
He's all
Andrew. Nice to
excited
meet
that someone knows him.
Oh, I love.
Right? So he's like, "Are you so and so?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm so and so." "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you read my work. Oh, awesome, right?" This is just like, think of the implications that this has.
You have to get in frame.
Oh, okay. But are you Sarah Chan?
No.
So here's how it works. We stream the video from the glasses straight to Instagram and have a computer program monitor the stream. We use AI to detect when we're looking at someone's face. Then we scour the internet to find more pictures of that person. Finally, we use data sources like online articles and voter registration databases to figure out their name, phone number, home address, and relatives' name.
To figure out their name, address, home address, phone numbers, all that stuff, just by putting on these glasses. Now the glasses, that's beginning technology. Okay, they remember they got brain chips. They're trying to put into people's brains. Contact lenses are easy. This is just like there's certain futuristic movies. Remember that movie with Tom Cruise, Minority Report? There's a scene where he walks into like a mall, and anywhere he looks, these cameras are recording his pupils and where he's looking and tracking at what advertisements and what stores, and then they're putting all of this through algorithms to see what direction he's moving in, and they're all trying to get his attention, and these ads pop out to him and they're like, "Hey Tom, hey, you should try this cologne, blah blah blah." This is in the movie, but these things are correct. These things are real. They're happening now. Imagine when you get a brain chip and you can't help but to see ads unless you pay for the premium plan brain chip, right? And you just got freaking ads everywhere. You're going to be forced. And there was an episode of Black Mirror all about this. I think it was called like 1,000,000,000 Credits, or I can't remember the name of it, but this is the world we live in. Next up, NASA spacecraft has roamed billions of miles, billions, but hasn't reached the edge. The edge of space is what they're talking about. Look, there it is off in the distance in this cartoon comic book drawing of space. All right, so why is it that they can talk about the edge when it comes to space, but not the world? Right? Well, you don't understand. You're not intelligent. It's because of, these scientific things and whatnot. Okay, well then why are galaxies flat? Why do they have... Everything in space seems to be flat or a plane, right? Even rings and stuff. Rings shouldn't be rings. They should just be clouds all the way around worlds or whatever. Anyways, it's interesting. They're talking about the edge of space. If space is the space between the surface and the dome, then the reason this thing hasn't gotten to the edge yet is because it's going like that up there in the sky. In a circle, okay, following the jet stream, which is probably where it is. All right, next up. Newly discovered comet could be bright enough to see during the daytime. Here you go again. It's the time of comet, the age of comets. There's just comets all over the place, different kinds, weird ones, green ones, blue ones, colored ones, split ones, backwards ones, forwards ones, all these weird comets, and nobody seems to think this is an omen or strange, or maybe we should be starting to get ready, right? A comet is going to be, they're predicting, so bright that it can be seen during the daytime. That's huge. That's massive. This, if something like that happens, there will be drastic change soon afterwards. We have one comet we're watching now, it says, and a new comet that has just been discovered is about to come into view. This comet, known as Comet C 2024-S1, I'm sure they'll change that name to some trendy sounding mythic animal or something, could become bright enough to see during the daytime. It could be the brightest one in 60 years. If I was to put my money on the name that they're going to give this thing, well, it's interesting. It says Comet C, CC, which is 33 also. GGCC33, same thing. I'll bet they call this thing Lucifer or something like that. I'll bet you anything. Anyways, keep an eye out. Oh, Atlas. You see a lot of them naming Atlas and stuff too, right? All these. It's insane. I have no words for it really. Keep your eyes to the heavens. All right, next up. China's Coast Guard claims to have entered the Arctic Ocean for the first time as it ramps up security ties with Russia. So, once again, we've got China, which is way down south in the far east or whatever, having some strange interest in going to the Arctic. You know, when I think of Chinese people, I don't often associate them with the Arctic circle. You know, that's just me. I'm just saying that's my personal thoughts on that. But yeah, so China is teaming up with Russia, and then the United States is also inching in closer and closer and closer to the North Pole. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Now, so apparently there's some chick running for president, Kamala Harris. I've only picked that up through the grapevine. I know zero about her. I also don't care. But let's talk about it. Harris says that unlike Trump, she has never wavered from upholding her oath to defend the Constitution. You notice it doesn't say defend the Declaration of Independence, right? Let me show you why. Okay, I don't care about the Constitution. Constitution sounds like someone's sick or something. I don't like that. I appreciate more the Declaration of Independence. I'll show you why. Here is the Constitution, the very beginning of it. I mean, there's like a little introduction, but it's really boring, okay? Here's the beginning. Article 1. It sounds like a lawyer wrote this. Article 1, Section 1. All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in the Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives. So the very beginning of this thing that she swears, I'm going to uphold this, is garbage already. All legislative power, all power, shall be given to the Congress of the United States, which means all the people in charge of you. Not you, not the people. You're not in charge. You're not given any power, which consists of this and that and blah, 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 and trust us. It's all good for you, blah, blah, blah. A bunch of legal jargon. Nobody understands how to speak this way anymore, so no one knows what it says. Let's skip over to the Declaration of Independence and allow me to read this to you. I'm not going to read the whole thing, just my favorite part. This is my favorite part. Now, I'm going to skim, okay? When in the course of human events, as you're living your life, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers on the earth, separate but equal. Now, we scroll on down a little bit, and it talks about holding these truths to be self-evident, everyone's created equal, and they're supposed to have the right to life, liberty, which is freedom, true freedom, okay, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, to secure these rights, it goes on to say that governments are instituted among men, and whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. And that is from the Declaration of Independence, a United States document. That's not me personally recommending anything to anybody or saying what people should do. I'm reading a government document. This is the one I would be impressed if people are like, yeah, I will uphold that, blah, blah, blah. But they don't. They uphold this lawyer speak weird constitution deal. Okay? And I'm not even saying like, oh, I believe in this or whatever. I don't believe in any of it, honestly. But I like how this sounds a lot better. What this says in layman's terms is when the government becomes corrupt, unchangeably so, where you have no power to change it, and they convince you that you do by something called a vote, that government should be changed, I'll say. Okay? All right, next up. Last but not least, the United States just witnessed its most extreme October heat. Palm Springs, California reached 117 degrees Tuesday. Man, I miss Palm Springs. I used to live in that area, like in Moreno Valley and stuff. We'd drive out to Palm Springs. It was really nice. Well, that's not true. It's a desert and it's hot. But there's these cool windmill deals on the way. And there was some sort of place that had a giant dinosaur on the way. And my mom would take us to like this hotel that had like all these different pools and jacuzzis and spas and stuff. It was fun for me and my brother. Anyways, look at all these temperatures, right? It's basically on fire. Imagine when this gets even hotter. Now, my reasoning for this is that the focal point above us called the sun is getting more focused, and it's therefore getting hotter up there nearby, up in the atmosphere, which is creating atmospheric rivers of extremely hot followed by extremely cold currents up there in the heavens or whatever. And it's also possibly ionizing or combusting gases that are already up there, which give rise to fireballs and, you know, earthquake lights and all this weird lights that people see in the sky. Anyways, you can expect a lot more of this, right? Until basically it's the solar apocalypse, which is going to be one of the apocalyptic scenarios that we're going to be covering here on my channel when we go through every apocalyptic scenario. Last one was zombies. The solar apocalypse is on the way. Probably the next one will be the robot rebellion or the robot uprising, because I like that topic. I think it's fun. But the sun, there was somebody in ancient, I believe it was Greek legends called Phaethon. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Maybe Phaethon. Anyways, he was a sun god, and he crashed the sun chariot into the earth, which meant that a long time ago, the earth went through a solar apocalypse. And this is where this comes from, that we know it's going to happen again. We know that the sun is capable of destroying the world, or at least setting a great many things on fire, which is this heavenly fire that will come down and basically melt all those people that will be surrounding the camp of the saints at the North Pole. Yes, and also even academics admits, like, well, one day the sun will destroy the earth because it'll turn into a giant and this and that or whatever. It's actually, it destroys the earth by becoming smaller, not by becoming bigger. When it becomes bigger, it becomes more diffuse, and the light thereof, or therefore, I can't talk. The light that's from a big diffuse light source becomes cooler, right? The heat from it becomes cooler. Whenever it's smaller, it becomes more focused and turns blue and becomes extremely hot and burns stuff. And those are our omens for this particular session. Over 401 people still watching. High five to all of you. I'm honored. Thank you so much. Check out my website, JayDreamerZ.com. My books, the Ancient Oblivion series, right? The Plasma Apocalypse and Return to Hyperborea. And lots more on the way. And here's some spooky new fun credits for this Halloween season. Until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes. And